Hi, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of the Big Sax Project. I'm happy to have you here with me. Please let me introduce myself. My name is Amit Dubester. I'm a professional saxophonist, improviser, and teacher. I was born in Israel, and I'm currently living and working in the beautiful city of Zurich in Switzerland. As a saxophonist, I've been trained in Israel, France, and Switzerland. I hold a master's in saxophone performance as well as a master's in music pedagogy. I perform regularly as a soloist with chamber music groups and with renowned orchestras and ensembles such as Philharmonia Zurich, the Israel Philharmonic, and Ensemble Ictus, to name a few. During the years, I've also won several international music competitions in Europe and in Israel. As for teaching, I am the saxophone teacher in the pre college department in the Zurich University of the Arts, which is one of the leading music academies in Europe. I invite you to check out my YouTube channel for some cool recordings I've made during the years for TV, solo recordings, and much more. Here's two links just to give you a taste. So, let's get down to business. What is the Big Sax Project? It is a project that consists of online tutorials for beginners, intermediate, and advanced students of all ages. It is also a great tool for students and teachers to use for practicing at home and actually enjoying it. By defining the goal of each lesson, we will focus on strengthening our technique, sound, and musicality in various musical styles. Besides that, being the saxophone geek that I am, I could teach you all those cool techniques that you always wanted to master, such as slap tongue, altissimo, double tonguing, circular breath, and a lot more. For our first lesson, we'll start with the first etude by Guy Lacour, who was a French composer and a saxophonist himself. Let me play the whole etude for you. Just sit back and listen. By working on this etude, we will be improving several important skills. First, our control of our dynamic range, playing piano up to forte, and learning how to transition gradually between them. We are also going to look into different types of articulation, in this case, soft attacks and legato. Moreover, we'll work on intonation by playing chords and intervals. All the technical work will serve to improve our musical interpretation. In this etude, we will sustain long phrases while always keeping the focus on the direction of the musical sentence. As you just heard before, when I play, I often use vibrato. It is an important tool for expression and colors in music. But that's a topic for another video. We'll look into it more in depth soon. So, let's get to work. I'll play for you the first 8 bars again. Try to identify in my playing the different musical aspects that we just mentioned. Dynamics. How soft or loud am I playing compared to what's indicated? Can you follow the changes in dynamic? Articulation. When do you hear a separation of notes? When do you hear notes that are connected? Musical phrasing. Do you feel that there is a direction to the phrase? Are there culmination points? Places where you feel more and less intensity or perhaps different emotions? Now it's your turn. Repeat the same 8 bars you just heard. At first, focus on precision. If this tempo is too fast for you, slow it down a bit. Let's say to tempo 66 or 60, as you prefer. I put a metronome beat for you here, but feel free to pause and use your own metronome. Then, try to play it several times, each time focusing on one parameter, dynamics, articulation, etc. I really recommend to record yourself and listen back to it. We lose a lot of information while playing, since so many senses are working together. Listening to yourself afterwards allows you to reflect better what you just played. It's really a great tool for fast improvement. After you've practiced these bars well, let's move on to the next stage of our practice. This time, no metronome. Imagine the pulsation before starting and try to keep a steady feeling of tempo from within. You can also try pacing around in this tempo while playing. Let yourself go. Music is eventually about freedom and lightness. Working with a metronome and tuner is only a tool to achieve that freedom. Imagine the most beautiful and rich sound you can think of and aim for it. Play this phrase a few times until you can play it by heart. Then try to play it while looking at a painting that you like. Let me suggest a beautiful painting by Claude Monet. Feel free to choose your own. Look as far as you can to the horizon and feel that the end of the 8-bar phrase is there. After 4 bars, you take a short pause on the way, but always keep your gaze focused on your goal. For the rest of the etude, continue your practice in a similar manner, 8 bars at a time. Go ahead only when you feel satisfied with your work. After playing the next 8 bars, try starting from the beginning and play through all 16 bars in order to build up your endurance and concentration, which are two super important skills for a musician. And now, some helpful tips that will help you develop your playing. In order to practice your dynamic range, let's divide it into 3 parameters: range, speed, and amplitude. The range refers to the range of the instrument, which stretches between a low B flat and a high F or F sharp. Practice in different parts of the instrument's range, low, middle, and high, for the best results. Then, there is the speed of change, crescendo and diminuendo. We could choose a fast change, moderate, or slow. And last, the amplitude, the dynamic range, which goes from piano through mezzo piano, mezzo forte, and forte. Now, when you practice, try to mix these all up as a game. For example, choose a middle range note which starts from a piano and goes up to mezzo forte in a slow tempo, let's say 2 seconds, tempo 60 in the metronome. You can also make a chart which has all the different possibilities. Check out my next video with a special tutorial about dynamics and much more. For practicing your articulation, I highly recommend this well-known book by Jean-Marie Landex. It has very useful instructions about mixing different articulations in your daily practice of scales. It has remained to this day my morning routine, and it helps to wake up the body. As for intonation, I would choose the tonality of the etude I just played, in this case it's C major, and write down all its diatonic chords as you see here. I would then first sing a chord, then play it with a tuner. That helps to develop and train your ear. Generally, singing is extremely helpful to us wind players, since there are many elements of producing sound that we share with singers. So, sing. You can also sing the etudes with the names of the notes. You'll be surprised by how much you'll achieve by just doing that for a few minutes each day. I really hope you enjoyed this video and that it was helpful to your practice. Please don't forget to subscribe and share your thoughts, ideas, and requests for other videos you'd find useful. Technique tutorials are coming soon as well. In the meanwhile, have a great weekend and see you soon for another episode of the Big Sax Project. Ciao!